St. Patrick's graduating class of 2020 presents The Stations of the Cross.
The first station, Jesus is condemned to death. Though you've done nothing wrong, they say you must die. If I were there, I would see the rage in your eyes, hear the anger in your words, and flinch at the pain they inflict. But Lord, I'd also feel the quiet dignity with which you accept this sacrifice, your life for mine. Let us pray. Jesus, it is hard to imagine how you stayed quiet when so many people wanted to hurt you. Be with me when I feel afraid. Remind me to trust in God's love for me.
The second station, Jesus takes up his cross. The cross is heavy, rough, and tears away at your skin. If I were there, I would see the wounds it adds to your already beaten body. But Lord, I also see the strength you show, strength that can only come from your Father. Let us pray. Jesus, the cross was such a heavy load for you to bear, yet you took it on your shoulders and carried it bravely. Give me courage when I have to face something difficult in my life.
The third station. Jesus falls for the first time. Despite your best efforts, the weight of the cross causes you to fall to your dusty ground. If I were there, I would see the rocks cut into your skin and hear the taunts of the crowd. But Lord, I'd see you breathe. Turn your eyes skyward and rise again. Let us pray. Jesus, the weight of the cross caused you to fall down. Lift me up when I make mistakes that cause hurt to others or to myself. Help me to trust in your forgiving heart.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. Midway through your torturous journey, there she is, your mother, the same woman who cared for your cuts and scrapes as a little child, looks upon you now. She cannot stop what is happening to her son. If I were there, I would see the pain in her eyes and in yours. But Lord, I'd also see the love. Let us pray. Jesus, you saw the sadness in Mary's face when you met her on the road. How painful it was to see you suffering. Fill my heart with kindness when I meet someone who is sad.
The fifth station, Simon helps Jesus carry his cross. The soldiers see you growing weaker. They pull Simon from the crowd and force him to take some of the weight of your cross. He has nothing to do with this, but there he is. If I were there, I would see his bewilderment at this turn of events. But Lord, I'd also see how grateful you are for the help. Let us pray. Jesus, Simon's help in carrying the cross must have been such a relief. Remind me how important it is to be helpful when others need my assistance.
The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. A woman, Veronica, emerges from the crowd. She takes a cloth and gently wipes the sweat, blood, and dirt from your face. Relief, and a friendly touch, if only for a moment. If I were there, I would see your blood left on her cloth. I'd see her moment of bravery in the face of the jeering crowd. It only lasted a moment, but Lord, I'd always remember her kindness. Let us pray. Jesus, did you expect a strange woman to come forward and wipe your bleeding face? It was a simple thing to do, and yet provided so much comfort. Show me small ways I can soothe the pain of others.
The seventh station. Jesus falls for the second time. The jagged stones cut into your feet as the cross forces you to the ground again. If I were there, I would feel the heat of the day beating down on your skin and hear the noise of the crowd swell around you. But Lord, I'd also watch you summon your strength and continue on. Let us pray. Jesus, once again you fell to the ground, and even with Simon's help, it was a struggle to get up and continue your journey. Strengthen me when I am tempted to give up, and remind me to rely on your love when I need to keep going.
The eighth station, Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem. Surrounded by a crowd of hatred, you find a precious few friendly faces. Despite your pain, you take a moment to comfort them. If I were there, I would see the tears that wet their cheeks as they mourn the unfairness of it all. But Lord, I'd also take comfort in your words. Let us pray. Jesus, even in your anguish, you stop to offer encouragement to the grieving women. Help me to be a comfort to others.
The ninth station, Jesus falls the third time. Again, you fall. If I were there, I would see each step becoming more and more difficult. I'd see the blood that dampens the dirt. I'd see the pain twist your face. But Lord, I'd watch you leave those earthly things behind as you stagger on towards your Father's will. Let us pray. Jesus, this fall must have been the hardest. You were tired and in great pain, yet you struggled to your feet and resumed your journey. Inspire me to keep going when the way grows long and weary.
The 10th Station. Jesus is stripped of his garments. They humiliate you. The soldiers take away your last bits of protection while the crowd delights in your torture. If I were there, I would see the sun scald your wounded skin. I'd see the soldiers laugh and jeer. But Lord, I'd admire your quiet dignity as you wait patiently for this time to pass. Let us pray. Jesus, how humiliating it was to be stripped of your clothes in front of a large crowd. Remind me to show respect to others and to do nothing that robs them of their dignity.
The 11th Station. Jesus is nailed to the cross. They drive nails through your flesh. Each blow brings in an unimaginable amount of pain. If I were there, I'd hear the wood of the cross split from the force. I'd see the blood on your arms and feet, but Lord, I also hear you ask your Father to forgive them. They know not what they do. Let us pray. Jesus, I can't imagine the agony of having nails driven through my hands and feet, yet in the midst of your pain, you forgave those who did this terrible deed. Grant me the courage to forgive when I am wounded by others.
The 12th Station. Jesus dies on the cross. After hours of suffering, your body can take no more. Your labored breathing stops, and it is finished. If I were there, I would see a darkness spread across the land, a quiet emptiness that comes with your passing. But Lord, I'd also know your pain has ended. Let us pray. Jesus, with a great sigh, you gave up your spirit. Show me how to surrender in small ways so that each day I make an offering of my life to you.
The 13th Station. Jesus is taken down from the cross. The crowds have gone, and all that remain are a few loyal followers. Carefully, reverently, they remove your body from the cross. If I were there, I would see the sorrow in their faces, but Lord, I'd also see the care they take in these actions. Let us pray. Jesus, it was heartbreaking for Mary to hold your lifeless body in her arms. Comfort me when I grieve over the loss of someone I love.
The 14th Station. Jesus is placed in the tomb. They place your body in a tomb and roll a stone in front of the opening. If I were there, I would see the stone settle into its place, blocking the light from the area where your body finally rests. But Lord, I know that this wasn't truly the end. Let us pray. Jesus, how dark and lonely it must have been to walk away from the tomb, and yet your friends would know great hope in the days ahead. Remind me of the light that emerges from darkness because of your great love. May my faith in you grow stronger each day. Thank you for giving us a chance to celebrate with you. We hope you have a blessed Holy Week.